Hello, I'm Rick Cathers and I'll be introducing you to the concept of lesson planning. You'll be able to use this in preparing your presentations for train-the-trainer and more importantly in all your future training experiences. Lesson planning is an activity that is often overlooked whether preparing a presentation or preparing for a class. We'll look at a variety of reasons why lesson planning is critical to successful learning. Using the lesson plan for the Lotus napkin folding lesson you previously observed, I'll explain each section and why it's important. Follow along to see how the lesson plan reflects what you saw the instructor do. We'll finish with a brief review of lesson planning. Let's get started. Lesson planning provides a step-by-step blueprint for achieving learning objectives. Spending the time to create the lesson plan helps you to focus on what materials to present to help the learners achieve the objective. By mapping out the lesson, you can consider where to focus the available time so that important concepts don't get lost in a last-minute rush to finish on time. It provides a checklist of what is necessary to provide effective instruction for the lesson. It helps you to have all the materials needed to deliver the lesson effectively. If there are references or other technical terms that you need to have readily available, the lesson plan is a great place to keep them. And after the class, the lesson plan is a place to critique your performance and make notes of what went well and what needs additional work. Each group of participants will uniquely influence the learning environment. Be open to adapting your lesson plan to accommodate the circumstances. Lesson plans should never be rigidly followed. Lesson plans must be tailored to the instructor and the class for which it will be used. Now, let's review the components of the Lotus napkin folding lesson plan. Objective. We introduced the components of learning objectives in the webinar you previously viewed. In the lesson plan, the learning objective focuses the content and helps in organizing the instructor's effective use of time. Performance criteria. How learning validation will be measured is critical to ensuring that both the content and delivery method are properly focused. The performance criteria section ensures that a clear statement of success is developed. Components and timing. Each section of the material to be covered can be delivered in a different fashion. In the Lotus napkin folding lesson plan, we use lecture, demonstration, and class practice. These decisions will impact the overall time allocated to the learning objective. For example, if the demonstration component takes 2 minutes, then there are only 3 minutes remaining for the lecture and class practice. Taking this into consideration before you get to class will help minimize timing issues in class. Key points. These are specific points for each component. In our example, we list the high-level points to be made with each component and some questions to ask to gauge the learner's existing knowledge of the subject. Resources required. This may seem unimportant, but if you are rushed to get ready for a class and you have already prepared this checklist, then the chances of forgetting key materials or not setting up an activity correctly are greatly diminished. Notes. This section is a catch-all for things not to forget. In our Lotus napkin folding lesson plan, we've noted the need to lay out materials before starting the lesson and making sure that the instructor's samples are in the correct sequence. Now, compare this lesson plan with the 5-minute Lotus napkin folding lesson you viewed previously. How well did the instructor do with the critical components? Did he state the objective? Were the points well organized? Did he have his media set up correctly? Were the questions effective? Did the video create a change of pace? Lesson plans are a tool we use to define how we'll meet the learning objectives. You can use whatever format is best for you, but it should always include a learning objective specifying what the student will be able to do after the training, performance criteria to determine if the student met the learning objective, components with timings for each section, key points, questions, and takeaways for the learners, any resources you'll need to present the component, and special notes for quick review prior to the beginning. Now, it's time for you to review your lesson plan for your upcoming 5- and 10-minute training sessions.